Hey everybody, it is just me today. Back for another comeback from this channel that has been dead for a while. Hopefully we actually revive it this time for real. Today I'm going to talk about Love Island USA Season 7. I forget how many, I'm going to put the episodes in the title, so obviously you'll have seen it by then, but every episode until Casa Amor starts, that's what I'm talking about. Just a couple of my opinions, a few thoughts I want to throw in really quick. At first, I didn't really like Amaya, and I will tell you why. When Amaya came in on the baseball challenge and she picked Jeremiah for fourth base, as Huda was saying, I did think it was messy, and here is why. I know that they know some stuff about the people before the bombshells go on the show, because Charlie knew to just kiss Bella on the cheek, and they know their names ahead of time. So if they see as much as I think they do, and if they know that Jeremiah and Huda were locked in, that they didn't really want to be, talking to a whole bunch of other people, to choose Jeremiah for fourth base, I thought that was very bold, and I did think that that was inappropriate. Because whenever you pick someone for the fourth base, it's very obvious that that's the person that you're going after. Like, if anyone's like in a happy couple, that's the person they choose their fourth base person. And I thought that was wild and nuts, which was a very different technique from what Iris did. When Iris came in, she talked to Huda first, and then she talked to Jeremiah. She was like, oh, I was gonna pull you for a chat. I wasn't really, she was saying how she had talked to Huda, wanted to make sure like it was okay, and would it be okay for us to like chat? And he was like, yeah. I respected that technique. So I didn't really like Amaya at first. And then secondly, the whole thing with the Ace talking about his boundaries, being called, babe and all of that. Now, I understand that that's part of Amaya's lingo, that's just how she uses it. But me personally, I similarly probably would have felt similar to Ace. And then it was not her finest moment when they were arguing and she was going on and on and on, cutting him off. That was not her finest moment. However, we move on, we see what the other things people have to offer. That was probably not, her best day. And, I can rock with her now. I know a lot of people love her, talking about some of Maya Papaya and how she's just like it's light and, very like whimsical and stuff. And I love that. So, but we move on. Olandria and Shelly be mad funny. They were talking, I forgot who they were talking about. They were talking about someone exploring, and someone was like, oh, he thinks he's Dora. It's like, oh, he thinks he's Christopher Columbus. They'd be so funny. We love Olandria. She is so real, and nothing to say. I think it was the day of the first elimination. I was like, Austin was not originally going to pick Shelly. If Amaya or Hannah hadn't already been picked for coupling, I'm for sure he would have picked one of them. And then when Shelly was only left, I'm like, man, because I know he would have either picked Amaya or Hannah, which messed everything up when Shelly and Austin were together, but her and Ace were still going around, which I have to say, that is mad weird to me. The whole Ace and Shelly pushing and pulling, but oh, we're still gonna whatever. It makes no sense to me. I do think it is very suspicious. I'll just be honest. But at the same time, I'm not really sure I'm not really sure if I want to say they're equal, contributors of this, or if it's more so Ace. Because how is Ace going to talk about like she knows where home is? But when the bombshells come, he's the biggest clapper. And he's still out going around doing all this, all that. Blows my mind. Can't stand it. Some people think that Nick is fake for, sometimes being anti-Huda when he was saying like, bro, do you see like what we're seeing? Like, it was trying to look out for him. But then he called him out for not supporting Huda when she was almost eliminated. And I have to agree, because that's what Huda, he was like, as a man, how he should have gone and comforted Huda. And that's what Huda wants. Huda wants like a man to change. This is very clear to me. But I'll get into that in a second. Okay, I'm just gonna talk about now Huda and Jeremiah. They could never make me hate Huda. They could never do it. Because now, should she have been calling Jeremiah the names that she did. No, I won't say that, and I don't necessarily defend the name calling, but so I'm not going to say that it was justified, but we can all see why she did what she did, because Jeremiah was switching up and acting different and playing in her face. And I'm not sure if it is specifically when she revealed having a child, but I think he started moving different. Tell me why when Olandria accidentally spilled the beans to Austin about Huda having a kid, tell me why Jeremiah laughed. That's supposed to be your partner, the person that you're supporting. And he laughed when she first had the conversation with him, and he was like, oh, how, she didn't want anyone else to know. He's like, yeah, got it. And when she was talking about telling Nick about her secret, he's like, yeah, whenever you're ready. And he was like acting so like supportive. But now you want to laugh. Huda doesn't want anyone to know. Definitely not Austin. And you're gonna laugh? That was despicable to me. And a lot of people talk about when he sprayed his cologne on her bed. What? And it was so two-faced. Now, I will say, when there was the door challenge, when you lock the door and that whole thing went on, it was mind-boggling to me. And when Huda was saying all that stuff, yes, it was not fair to Iris. And I do think she shouldn't necessarily have, I don't think she should have done that because it was harmful to Iris. At the same time, I do think that she was just collateral damage, because that was meant to expose Jeremiah for being two-faced or for being fake, because he was saying he wasn't attracted to her, that she wasn't his type, Iris. And now he's gonna open the door for her? Blew my mind. And the way that he was going and talking to all the boys about Huda, like behind her back, blew my mind. Yeah, that would have been my final straw too. I would have, and everyone's saying like, oh, they've only known each other for this amount of time. Why is she acting like this? Villa time is different. All they have to do all day is be around those people. It's kind of like the show Love is Blind, when the two people talk behind the screen and they like can't see each other. And people talk about how time moves differently there when you're having these intentional conversations when you can't see each other. Similarly, in the villa, all they have to do is sit there and talk all day. So it's not like when you go on a date, you talk about like super surface level stuff for an hour and you don't have another date until a week. They are there all day. Like, relationships move quicker there. And they were getting a little spicy. It was getting a little physical. We've seen that. And you wanna, like, why is she acting like this? Because she thought that was her man, and he was switching up. I didn't write down like every single thing, but if we go back and watch, I think we know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I would be mad too. And something else that I've seen some people say is like, we know she has a daughter. Yes, she's going to move differently in the villa than other people. You don't want to be bringing random men around your kid. You want to find someone, a stable foundation to have a relationship to actually introduce your daughter into. You're not like messing around like all these other people who don't have any outside responsibility other than themselves. Way back, and this is something separate now. Way back, it was like the first day maybe or so, and when Huda was talking, like she's like, oh, y'all need some real men. Alandria was like, don't play that and whatever, and people were like, oh, like why is Huda crying? I do think this was a difference in culture. The way that Alandria said it, I myself would have interpreted it the way that Huda did. I would have taken that as a diss, like she was trying to like be snappy at me. That's how I would have interpreted it. That doesn't mean that's how Alandria meant it. And when Alandria was saying, no, I didn't mean it like that, that's not how I meant it, I believed it. I think they just have different talking styles, and when you don't know someone yet, you don't know that that's how they mean it. And so obviously when they patch everything up and they apologize, like that was good and great, and we move on. But I could definitely understand both sides of the party. Like when you're misunderstood and people don't understand, if people misunderstand the message that you're trying to give, I think that was the position Alandria was in. But yeah, obviously now we know Alandria, we know she's not like that, but I could also see why Huda had interpreted it that way at the first point. Like I know other people in my life that, talk similarly, and I'm maybe not as used to it when in my the people that I'm around don't always talk the same way. I already talked about Huda and Jeremiah. so in the last episode that this video is about, when he left, I was so happy. I was so happy. Do I think there's a problem with Ace and that he's being a ringleader and that he is, you know, causing drama in the villa and, you know, running a mess? Yes, I do. But I was happy to see Jeremiah go. And can I be honest? I feel like we haven't really seen any personality from him. Besides from, I feel like he's like plotting and scheming. I feel like he was like plotting and scheming against Hood's downfall. Did I want to see Hannah leave? I wanted to see Iris leave, to be honest. But I didn't necessarily, I wasn't super upset about Hannah leaving, and I'll tell you why. People were saying that she, like, when Charlie left, that she cried like he had gone to war, and then the next day, we see you and Pepe, we know what went on, we saw what went on in the night vision cameras in the room, and blew my mind, and what? No, don't play games with me. I feel kind of bad for Charlie with everything that happened. Don't have much of that. The episode with Megan Thee Stallion, that was a great episode, and I was actually quite surprised, because I don't think you could like bring in just any celebrity and do that, but she like fit right in with everybody. And when Huda did her thing, she did her big one, I was mesmerized. I was like, wait, how can I do this? I was like, I need to like take some lessons from this performance and learn. I had to go back and rewind. It blew my mind. She did her big one. But you know who else did their big one? Austin and Nick also did their big one, because yeah, Olivia was saying how Austin was looking goofy, and I'm like, yeah, he did, but he did that the way that there was comments, and Nick, he did his big one too. That was, and everyone's, and you know, some people like, oh, you know, not everybody, like the boys and the girls don't have the same amount of material to do the dance with in that, you know, area of the body, but with what they had, that was phenomenal. And one last thing I want to bring up, some people be talking about some Nico Landria, and I had forgotten that when they had this blindfolded kissing challenge in the beginning, I don't think Olandria even knew that Nick was the one that had kissed her. And then when they had that challenge when they were in the milkmaid outfits, and Nick and Olandria went into the cabin, and maybe that needs to, maybe he just doesn't want to say anything, but would love to see it happen. I would love to see it happen. And this is the first season that I've been watching of Love Island. I started watching it, I think the day that the 13th, when 13 episodes were out, because my cousin was having my family watch it, and so I've never seen it before. I don't really know everything, but I've been reading something about a movie night, and I think they're like showing like clips to like everybody that maybe not everybody had seen, and maybe it'll be like drama, like things people haven't seen, and I'm ready for that. So that's what I've been hearing like rumors and whisperings about. But that is, I think, all I have to say. Maybe I'll put some timestamps in the description if I'm feeling up to it, if I remember, and if I have any other thoughts, maybe I'll do a little type in the comments, and we'll see. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and let's watch about Cast Up more. Yeah.